These are called inequalities. And how do we use them? Okay, so what does this particular symbol here mean? Nope. Yep. Okay. Now, when you were in grade school, how did your teacher teach you to remember which symbol is greater than, which symbol is less than? Brianna? What's eating it? Okay, now listen. When I was in grade school, they used an alligator. My daughter's 17 and she's a senior now. And when she was in high school, they didn't use an alligator. They used a duck because it was less violent. I said, you've got to be kidding me, okay? So the open part of the symbol means that that's the larger number. And in math, we read from left, right. So if I have this symbol here that's open initially, it's the same as saying 2 is greater than 1. See how the open symbol is going towards the larger number, okay? Here it's 1 less than 2. The larger open section is still with the 2, but I read this as less than because I'm reading from left to right. A lot of people get this confused. If you just remember how you're going to read it from left to right, you'll be okay. I like the alligator. That's what I grew up with, okay? If you guys want to put a duck there, that's okay. But alligator to me is really, really easy to remember this. So the alligator eats the largest number. The open part of his mouth always indicates the bigger number. But sometimes we're reading our symbols from left to right. We're using greater than or we're using less than. Depends on what's coming first. So if I have these two numbers and I'm reading from left to right, what symbol should I have in between them? Yeah. Greater than, yes. The alligator is going to try to eat the 7 because it's larger. And I should put the greater than symbol there. Rebecca? Rebecca! You could use this one, it's probably better. Okay? Because that's driving me crazy, girl. I'm sorry. I need another cup of coffee. Okay? All right, so remember, the inequalities mean this one's greater than from left to right. This one is less than from left to right. And just think of the alligator opening its mouth to the larger number. So if I were to compare these two numbers, what symbol should I have? Brianna? Less than. Okay. Katrina, you want to do the next one? What would it be? Well, you had your hand lifted, so. Greater than. Okay, good. What about this one? Greater than. Okay, thanks, B. This one? Less than. Okay. This one? Greater than. This one? Greater. You guys got this. Less. Okay, so now that you know how to tell which number is larger than the other, which number is smaller than the other, you're also going to probably be asked some questions that deal with ordering. Okay, so we've done comparing. Let's talk about ordering. Now, when they talk about ordering from greatest to least, what do they mean in regular English? Yes. The highest number to the lowest number. You're going to put it in sequence in order, okay? And if they say least to greatest, that means they want the smaller number to the largest number, all right? So a strategy for using ordering is to just actually line them up by the place values, because you guys know what place values are, right? So if you line them up by the place values, it's pretty easy to see which is smaller, which is larger. So the thing you need to focus on, and I had to tell a lot of you this yesterday when you were doing your practice tests, is reading the question. So how does this question want these numbers ordered? Greatest to least. So I should look at my list and pull out the biggest number first. So what number would that be? So I'll have 615 first, and then what? 195, and then 58. Okay, so let me go ahead and put those in order. Oh, I should probably turn this down. Okay, now what does this one say? So what number should come first? And then, okay. Now my PowerPoint, I have check marks to check as I did them, but I usually just like to cross the number out as I use it, so I know that I've already done that number. Okay, so that's a strategy you can use. Okay, how should I order this one? Okay, so what will be first? 67, 83, and then 90. Okay. How do we want to order these? What does it want? Smallest to largest, right? So 30. Uh-oh, I did largest to smallest. I went crazy here. Sorry, you guys. Let me write it on the board. What should I do, 39? I meant to change that around. 42, 48, and 49. So don't look at my PowerPoint. It's all crazy. I was thinking greatest to least, but I didn't change the wording. So this one, okay, I changed this one. Good. So what would this one be, greatest to least? What's first? And by the way, 13 is my favorite number, you guys. Okay, so I've got 2 lines here. You guys order those real quick and then tell me what I would get. How am I supposed to order these? Okay. Go ahead and order those, greatest to least. Everybody ready? Is that what you had? Okay, and then on the bottom, is that what you have? Okay. So ordering is pretty easy. Now, the reason that comparing and ordering are very important is not only an application in real life. Sometimes we have to file things alphabetically or numerically, and so you need to know greatest to least, how people want to have things filed. But rounding is the key thing here. In rounding, we have to compare numbers. In rounding, we might have to order numbers. So let me find out from you first, how do you round? Who can explain to me what rounding is? How do I round? To the nearest number? Tens, hundreds? What's she trying to say? To the nearest 10?
Depending.
Yeah, depending on what?
On what you want us to round to.
How do I know what to round to? How would I know what number to round to? Well, I'm going to teach you a strategy, but let me see what y'all got. Let me see what you're going to give me first. Okay? And then I'll give y'all something. V? I rounded up to 7 because of what? How do you know what to round to?
Round it to the nearest number.
How do you know? Say that again. I learned it in school. You guys, you know by the question. You're not gonna know unless you gotta know by the question. Come on now. Is everybody awake? No. Okay. Come on now. Come. You gotta focus on the question. Just like when we were doing the greater than, less than, I told you guys focus on what they're saying. Read the question to see what they want. Well, the same thing is true for rounding. What do they want? Do they want me to round it to the, your example was we rounded it to the whole number. Okay? Do they want me to round it to the tenths? Do they want me to round it to the tens? Do they want me to round it to the hundredths? Okay? Read the question. What do they want me to round it to? Now, let me tell you something. There are some standards that you should just know. And let's see if you guys know one of them. If I'm rounding money, what do I round money to? Oh my gosh. Do I round money to the nearest dollar? Which decimal? Not the tenths. Why the hundredths? Okay, does anybody have some loose change? I want somebody to pull out some of their loose change. Okay. Okay, what kind of loose change you got? Yeah, pull something out. Okay, what you got? You got. So tell me what that change is. Tell me what you call it. No, pull it up. Pull up one of the coins and tell me what it is. 5 what? Okay. Pull up another one that's different. Okay, pull up another one that's different. Okay, well, first she was on a roll, but then she said penny. Okay, so what is the value of 5 cents, 10 cents, and a penny? No, I didn't tell you to tell me the total. What are those values called? 5 cent, 10 cent, and a penny is how much? 1 cent. A cent or centé means 1/100th. A penny is 1 out of 100 pennies when you talk about a dollar. So what do I round money to?
The nearest
Hundredth. I want to hear that on the end, okay? Money should be rounded in general to the nearest hundredth. Hundredth is the same as cent or centie, okay? So money in general should be rounded to the nearest hundredth. 2 decimal places, okay? We estimate, when we estimate dollars, we estimate them to 1 because it's easy, right? So estimation, 1 is the default. Money, 2 decimal places is the default in application. Okay, you guys write that down. Make sure you got that. Okay? Now, rounding. They have to tell you what value place they want you to round to, otherwise you don't know. Right? That's the first step. I got to read and see what they want me to round to. Do they want me to round to the tenth? They want me to round to the hundreds? They want me to round to the nearest dollar? I need to know. What am I supposed to round to? Then you're going to estimate it. Okay? You can estimate it. Give me some examples where you actually estimate numbers in application as an adult. An example of where you guys estimate numbers automatically. Nobody even has to tell you. Ashley?
Say like the word job.
Okay.
You get a check.
Uh-huh.
And you want to kind of round it off to about.
Okay, so you want to estimate how happy you're going to be when your check comes. And then I heard somebody say shopping. We do it all the time with shopping. Why do we do it with shopping? Because what? Yeah, why is it that you're estimating as you're buying stuff and putting it in your cart? Why are you estimating like to the nearest dollar or so how much it is?
Because it's
Dad?
taxes on it.
Well, we can estimate the taxes too, but Dad, why? So what?
Yeah.
Because of your budget. How embarrassing to get to the cashier and say, oop, I don't have enough money for this. I better put some of this back. Right? You want to make sure that you're within your budget as you're shopping, right? So we automatically do that. And we'll add on the taxes. Like I've been trying to teach my daughter to add on the taxes. I said, okay, that's 10%. So if it's $50, what's 10% of $50? Hello? Ooh, we need to do some percents. Of $50. $5.
No. That's
I think I would like you to come to my store so I could charge you $25 on it. Okay. All right. It'll be $5, you guys. Come on. Okay, so it's very important to be able to estimate, approximate, or round our numbers. Rounding is something we do every day. Now, I want everybody, especially since y'all sleepy today. I don't know if I put this in your packet. I hope I did. This is my little rounding strategy because it's really hard for students to explain to me how they round. So I am going to go ahead and give it to you guys because I can tell you guys aren't quite awake. And if you will turn to page 10 in your packet, I want you to know that you already have this written down, so you can just make notes right now, okay? You already have it written down on page 10, so that'll be your go-to page when you start rounding. Now, I told you guys I'm a strategies teacher, and I expect everybody to participate. I know that some of you are shy, and that's okay, but you're going to get up off of your seat, and you're going to do some of these strategies. Even the silliest little things can help you remember. I have lots of students that have trouble remembering the steps and the processes in math. How many of you would admit to that? How many of you have trouble remembering the steps? I'm one. Remembering the steps to stuff. I have to review it sometimes because I forget it, you know, and little rhymes and stuff help me. So I'm going to give you a little rhyme today for rounding. Okay? All right. Find the number, look right next door, 4 or less, just ignore. 5 or more, add 1 more. And because we're doing whole numbers today, the last line is fill zeros. So let's sing it together. Find the number. Hello? The number. Look right next door. 4 or less. Just ignore. 5 or more. Add 1 more. Fill zeros. Okay, let's do it one more time. You guys sound kind of good. Well, yeah, we could probably get a little choir going on. Okay. Find the number. Look right next door. 4 or less. Just ignore. 5 or more. Add 1 more. Fill zeros. Okay, now let me show you how to use this strategy. I want you to just sing this to yourself in your head, And then you're going to actually apply this strategy to rounding. Who can read that number for me? What'd you say? What did she say wrong? And. Okay, so don't let that lazy tongue start putting those ands in there, because we're not talking decimals right now. So one more time, you can redeem yourself. 584 what? Perfect. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to do it with my pen first. Where does it tell me to round to? See, I have to have some sort of instruction to know where to round it, right? Okay? So, where is that number, the 1,000? Where is that? 4. So, find the number 4. I'm going to just underline it. Look right next door. What's right next door? I'm going to circle it. And the circled one is the next line. Find the number. Look right next door. What's next? Is this a 4? So I'll go to the next line. 5 or more. Add one more to what?
4.
The 4. I add one more to the 4. It's a math problem, isn't it? What's 1 plus 4? Okay, and then what else did I tell you? What's the last line in the verse? Fill zeros. Fill zeros. How do I know my zeros start here? I know right where my zeros start because I circled the 6. I'm just using the 6 to compare. It's going to become a 0 no matter what. I just need to know what to do with the underlying number. If that 6, in this case, is 5 or more, that means that 4 increases to 5. And everything becomes 0 to the right. Questions? Let's do another one. Let me see if I did this on the PowerPoint. Yeah, I did. Find the number. That was the underlined 4. This is kind of hard to see. So you underline the number that you're going to round to. You circle the neighbor. Look right next door is step 2. Draw a circle around it because you know that's where you're going to fill your zeros eventually. Now, that's the number you compare. If that number is 4 or less, you're going to just ignore and that number underlined stays the same. But because this is 5 or more, 4 becomes a 5. Going to add one more. And it's a math problem. You're just going to add 1. Then you fill your zeros starting at 6. Now what number did I end up with? What's this number? 585,000. So see how easy that is? I know a lot of you, when you learned how to round, you would round down. They would call it rounding down. But that's our step where we say it's 4 or less, just ignore. You just leave it as it is. We're not going to make it a 3. We're not really rounding down. We're going to keep it as a 4. Okay? So I don't want you to really use that language of rounding down, even though it is less. See, this is going to be more. Okay, what am I going to do here? Find the number. Where am I going to find the number? Where is that? 100 is where the 0 is. Look right next door. What do I circle? 4 or less, just ignore. So what's going to happen? This becomes a 0. And then what happens? Fill zeros. So how much did I get? I'm done. You get it? Okay? And it might take you a couple of times before you get this. So let me go through the PowerPoint with it. To the nearest 100 is 0. Look, right next door is 1. I circle it and do my comparison. 4 or less. I have less than 4. So I'm going to just ignore and keep it as a 7 and a 0. Then I'm going to add zeros or fill zeros. So that gives me 7,000. All right. Here are the steps again. You're going to identify the place value that you're going to round to, and you're going to underline it. This is what you do during the strategy. You're going to circle the number immediately to the right of the number that you underlined. You're going to compare, determine whether you're going to round up or you're going to stop and fill zeros. Okay? Remember, if it's 4 or less, you're just going to ignore. You just stop and fill your zeros. But if the circled number is 5 or more, you're going to increase the underlined number and then fill zeros. Okay? That's it. Fill zeros, you're going to do that no matter what, on a whole number. That's the strategy. You guys got it? So you'll see in this little example here, I want you to round all of these in this column to the 1,000. And on the far right, I want you to round all of those to the 10. I have 6 problems here, and I have about 20 of you guys. Now, do you know what kind of learner you are? You know what kind of learners you are? How many of you are kinesthetic? Gotta move, gotta do it, gotta see it and do it. You are? Go do a problem. Go do a problem. Go do a problem. Go do a problem. If you know that you are kinesthetic, you need to get up out of your seat and you need to start working. I think there's one right there, sweetie. Rebecca. If you are kinesthetic, you need to get up out of your seat and you need to do a problem. I'm missing one more. I know there's another kinesthetic person in here. Get up and come do a problem. I do have a black one. I just hate putting black on that smart board because it takes forever to get it off. Okay, now those of you that decided to sit in your seats instead of getting up and doing a problem, you need to verify that what your classmates have done is correct. If they have one that is incorrect, you need to get up out of your seat and correct it. You'll see it in a second, they'll leave in a minute. But you too need to do the same problems to make sure you understand the strategy. You're not going to just sit in your seat and do nothing. You guys can learn from each other just as much as you can learn from me. That's right. Help each other out. James, I need you. Oh, did somebody do that? Okay, so find the number. Where are you rounding to? Underline it.
Hundreds, so
No, sweetheart. What does it say up there? Thousands. Okay. Yeah, and then look right next door.
And then +1, right?
+1 where?
Right here.
Yes. 24,000 is right. Okay? Okay? James, come on up here and do this middle one here that's missing. You're kinesthetic. The rest of you, verify these answers. Stop moving so slow. No, they ain't gonna do it for you. I told y'all to get up out your seat. You know, if you can't kinesthetic, you need to get up. Okay. All right, let's look at the 1,000 column. Any debates on the answers? We've got 24,000 for the first one on top. Then we got 64,000. Then we got 810,000. Any debates? Okay. On the second column, we're going to round to the tens. We have 770. Is that right? Okay. What about the second one? Yep. And what about the next one there? There's a problem with that one, huh? Or is it okay? There's a problem here. What should be here? 100. Okay? So let's do that one. Where is the tens place in 280,095? 9. Look right next door. Plus 1 with the 9. So this becomes a 0, a 1. This is what they forgot. Okay? You see? If you have a 9, it changes the place value to the left. Okay? Yeah, that's what happened to you. The 9 will change the place value to the left because it's greater than 5. So be careful of that. You should have had a 1 there. All right? Question? Rebecca? No, that's fine. That's fine. Everybody say that. The only one that was wrong was on the bottom just because the person didn't put 100 there. Okay? Any questions on the rounding? Okay, so this is what I want you guys to do. Instead of me leading you through today's packet, like I did yesterday, I'd like you and your table mates, we're not doing the video right now, to go to page 4. Page 4 talks about coordinates. What's a coordinate? What is this thing here? It's a number line. On page 4, they talk about number lines. Down here on the bottom. So, what's a coordinate? Yeah, it's where that line meets there. Let me see if I can get this to focus. So they want us to write the coordinates of 4, 7, and 10, starting with the number line that they already started here. They got 0, 1, so I'm going to count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, wait, what do I have to do there? And this can go on to infinity. So just write them in sequence. Oops, I'm sorry, you guys. I should erase that, huh? So that's all they mean with those coordinates. You just need to be able to read your number lines. All right, what do they want us to do on problem 2? Before we do anything on problem 2, we need to write down the coordinates for a couple of the letters. What's G? And L. So we know that M would be what? 7. We know that's 7. So they want us to say what A would be, B, C, D, E, and F. Now for A, they said J. What would J be if this is 8? So here's 8, 9, 10, 11. And if I were you, I would just fill these in. And that'll make life so much easier for you. So J should be 11. What's S? What's K? What letter is 7? What letter is 5? And what letter is 12? So see how much easier that is once you fill in the number line? Okay? So you guys can do that. And then what symbols are we going to use on problem number 3? Well, this one is less than, and this is greater than. So what symbol should I put for A? What about B? What about C? 3 is less than 5. 5 is less than 11. So that was a combo. What about D? 13 is greater than 7, and 7 is greater than 2. So you have to compare the two at a time. This is something you will be doing on your practices today, your practice tests. Comparing, even with combos. Okay, so let's go to page 5, since we did page 4 already. You have some more number line and some more comparisons to do on page 5. So you guys can do that with your table mates. Same thing on 6 and same thing on 7. You have more comparing on 8 and number line theory. On 9, you're going to have ordering. Let's do some ordering as a review real quick. On the first problem on page 9, number 7, what is it they want you to do? What am I supposed to do on page 7? I'm sorry, on problem 7. Page 9. Okay, least to greatest, I need to pick the smallest one in the list. What number is that? What number is it? 50,327. So I'm going to just cross that out because I used it. What's next? 50,752. I'm going to cross that out. And then what's next? 52,577. And then last but not least is 52,769. So you're going to put those in order based on what the question says. Some of them are least to greatest, some of them are greatest to least. On number 9, what do they want us to do? Order from greatest to least here. I like to highlight the instructions so I know what they're asking for. So what's the greatest number? 6 trillion. Then what? Then what? And then 600,000. Okay, on number 11, first put this group of numbers in order and then circle the middle one. So if I put these in order, what should go first? Does it tell me least to greatest or greatest to least? Does it tell me? No. So you get to choose. You can do smallest to largest or largest to smallest, but you got to put it in order. So let's do, you want to do smallest to largest? Okay, so what's smallest? Okay, and then what? And then we have the 29454. We're going to circle the one in the middle. Okay, that's all you do. Follow instructions. That's all you do is follow instructions. Okay? So that's ordering. You're going to read the instructions to see what to do. Least to greatest or greatest to least. Circle the middle one on number 11 and 12. Okay? Just follow the directions. What you going to do on page 10 and 11? Round the underlined digit. Okay, so on number 1, what digit or place value is underlined? The thousands place. So if I rounded that number, what would I get? I'm just going to write it underneath because I write so big. What about number 2? I just have the whole number 8. Is anything underlined? What place value do I have? The 8 is in what place value? The ones. Okay, so if I'm rounding to the ones, it's just 8. What about number 3? 1. Okay, what about number 4? No, we're going to do it to the 100. So it's 3,000 what? 100. Look where the underlined digit is. It'll tell you the place value. This is going to be the hundreds. Don't just assume it's going to be thousands. Okay, what about number 5? Nope, that's not hundreds. Tens. So it'll be 80 is my answer. Okay? Look at the place value first before you decide on what to round to. Okay, number 6, what am I going to round to? The tens. Okay, so it'll be 90. Okay, what about number 7? The hundreds. So what would that give me? 500, because right next door is a 9. Okay, what about 8? What am I rounding to? Hundreds. And so what would that give me? 900. Okay? And number 10. Rounding to hundreds, which would be 2,400. And number 10. We're rounding to the what? Tens. Right next door, I get 100. And the reason I like this exercise is because it makes you review your place value, and then you get to use your rounding skills. Okay? So you guys go ahead and finish page 11 with your table mates. Now, page 12 is an application of reading and writing numbers and rounding. And what are these things that you guys are going to be reading and looking at? What are these things called? Nutritional label facts, right? These are labels. Every adult needs to know how to read a label. So I want you and your table mates to work on this application together. There are some general right answers there, okay? Finish the packet, and then what are you supposed to do? You tell me what you're supposed to do when you're done with the packet. Get on the computer and do what?
Quiz.
What quiz? Show what you know. 0908PP under thatquiz.org online. Yes, it is. I don't give you anything that's not mandatory, really. I'll tell you if it's optional. What about the assessment? What number is that? GBUL 5TXM. Both of them are required. Okay? Now, I don't know who asked me that question about if that was required, but let me tell you something. What happens on Thursdays in this class? Do I just check your binders? Oh no, I go on the computer and I see if you did your test. So is it mandatory? Yeah. Both of them are. Okay? And what percentage should you be getting? Or better. I'll take hundreds. Okay? 80 or better. It should be your average, or you're going to be having a discussion with Miss D, and you ain't going to like it. Okay? So every Thursday is book check day. Okay? So y'all can't say I don't love you. I give you gifts every day, and I check your book every Thursday. So, hey. Have you ever been to a math class where you had gifts every day like this? Huh? Every day you got a gift. Okay? So you need to have a much better